Right, we are here at Woodlands, done Woodlands winners with Tony Grayson earlier. That would have gone up, but this will go up over the weekend. But great to be catching up with Mr. Andrew Greason. Hello.
Hi, Paul. How are you? You good?
Very good, very busy day for you guys again. The farm doesn't stop this time of year.
Yeah, that's right. Look, if I start gibbering away, it's because I got up at 3:30 in the morning this morning, and I don't get to sleep till 10 o'clock at night. So yeah.
One of the cool things I said to Tony, I said, "Oh, what time do you get going?" He said 4. I said, "No. But what time do you get going?" He said, "No, 4." He said, "I just walk out of there and go straight away," which is a luxury for him.
Yeah, look, I live about a quarter of an hour away, so I get up at just before 3:30.
Yeah.
And have a shower, have something to eat, then hop in the car and get here, and we start collecting at 4:15. And we've got obviously bedders, Sweet Lou down by the seaside, lather up, and we just literally have that done before 5:15. So now we've got it all packed up, ready to go, and then Leanne, Tony Grayling's wife, who's our seaman courier, she takes it to Auckland, hops on a plane, lands in Melbourne, and from there it's distributed.
And the scary part about it, she won't be far off landing in Melbourne right about now. She won't be that far off it, and it's not even lunchtime here. So that's where it does work. And so the farms in Australia, Victoria especially, they could be inseminating their mares, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Same day, which is reflective in the in our fertility. We looked at it a few years ago, and we were originally going into Sydney and then relocating, and of course Victoria's the biggest breeding hub, and we just found that our fertility just was slightly better with the fact that we went into Victoria. And of course it's the same distribution with Australian Air Express or whatever, and so it made sense for us to do that, and so it's great.
There's no mistake why the success is there. And when I say success, don't worry about the racetrack. That's happening. That's the selection of size. Yeah. But getting these horses in foal, having happy clients at the other end, and there'll be someone watching this. Oh, I haven't been able to get mine in foal. That happens. But overall, your percentage of getting these horses into in semen, like getting them in foal. Sorry, not in semen. Yeah. There's no mistake. You guys have researched it. You've done your homework. Make sure it gets done properly, don't you?
Yeah. Look, all our stallions have got good fertility. They really have, and so even when they have a reasonable sized book, they're never really under pressure, which is great. The other thing too is obviously from the time you collect, put it in an extender, the clock's ticking, so the earlier you can get it in. And in regards to my staff on the ground, Cameron Grant in New Zealand and Mark Hughes in Australia, both great guys, and people enjoy dealing with them, and they're straightforward, and that's helped us as well. Not to mention the fact that the stallions aren't going too badly. No. I want to just touch on the staff too, though, because yearling sales, we definitely showcase them. There's a stack of girls. They do the job. There's a big group photo. Yeah. So many guys here work in the dark. They go home, solid day, they've had an early start, they come back the next day. The staff you guys have got around you is what actually makes it, isn't it? And there's a lot of guys here that won't get mentioned, but the farm doesn't run without them. Oh, absolutely. And probably in the Tony, the stud master, and then we've got Kelly Blakemore and Dan Shies under those two. So Kelly's second in charge, and that makes. And then we have staff underneath that. When you have that photograph with all the staff at the yearling sales, we have a whole lot of people from different, mostly thoroughbred studs, who love working with our yearlings, and they get leave to come in and just do the 2 days or whatever. And so a lot of we don't have I think there's about 30 odd of them in that photo. There's not 30 all year round. No, there's a lot of guys picking up the shit and trudging through the mud, because it has been, Tony was saying to me just there before, it's been a pretty trying spring for you. Yeah, look, it has. I've got some good veterinary colleagues in the thoroughbred game, and they said that this spring with the dry mares has been okay, because they just click away, especially under lights, and the wet mares have been hard. Yeah. The mares have become what we call lactational anestrus, so while they're having a baby on, they don't cycle properly, and these follicles which go all cloudy, and they're not very fertile either. So it's been trying. But the interesting thing is that you get all these little variations at different times of the season. But when you look at the overall season from 1st of September through to when we stop serving in January sometime, year to year, there's very little difference.
Yeah.
It just happens at different times.
Times.
So it's just a patience thing. And
I think though what you just said then is pretty cool for if you're a mum and dad breeder, say somewhere in New Zealand or even in Australia where parts of it have been wet. Don't panic necessarily. It could just be a seasonal thing, and just relax. It could come.
Yeah, look, our clients down in Southland, a lot of them don't have the facility for looking after foals if they were born in August, September, so a lot of them don't serve till a little bit later. I've always said, well, you need to build somewhere for them to a shelter or whatever, because it's a funny game. Well, it's not a funny game. It's a reality is that the yearlings are sold by the pound and the pedigree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're exactly right. You can have a beautiful pedigree page, but if it don't match up, they walk away very, very quickly. But conversely, if you've got something that walks past, I'll look at a pedigree page and be prepared to look past it. I think they just keep going back to that horse. They go, no, I want that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Individuals sell well, obviously. Yeah, good individuals.
The boys, you stay in draft. Do you actually pinch yourself a little bit? I get paid to promote your product. I shamelessly don't say that to I'll say that to the cows come home, and I love our association. But 5 commercial stallions on the roster. There is Speeding Spur as well, and I know he's getting books. But I don't think you guys are kidding yourselves to say that he's not commercial. He's got a a home for the rest of his life because of what he did to you guys on the racetrack, and he's still leaving winners.
He's had no chance.
Yeah,
and people anyone who's bred one wants another one.
Yeah,
and so he's just slowly there. And you're right. I mean, he's a horse we bred here. He won 7 Group 1s or 8 Group 1s or whatever it is, including one in America.
Yeah,
and so he's the most money earned entire at this stage. I don't think anything's got past him at 1.3 million or whatever.
Yeah.
Oscar, I'm not sure where he is. He's about 800 so look, I'm not sure.
And the other one ticking in the back of my mind would be Call Me the Breeze, but his would be international, and then here, which I know Speeding Spurs is a little bit that way as well, but it doesn't matter. We're splitting hairs over it. So and he does do an awesome job. And I think Tony or Anne-Marie said to me just there before they had 3 or 4 bookings coming for him just this week, which is awesome. So
look, he's such a lovely horse. He's a lovely type. Obviously, race record says it all, and everyone loves him here. He's just a real gentleman and a character as well.
The old boy Bettor's Delight, we can say that, but Tony was alluding to me there that he enjoyed his winter off. He got to let down, and he's still as fertile as ever, getting them in foal. I think I saw 3 just go in foal too, or get served, hopefully for connections are in foal, but he's just doing a marvellous job.
Yeah, look, he's 27, and 27 means that things aren't the same. But we found, and I sent some videos up to the North Americans, that we found that his semen was the best it's been for about 6-7 years. So in other words, every time he travelled and we came here, we were seeing a little bit of a drop off. And in actual fact, now we've had a bounce back. His semen looks fantastic, and he's getting mares in foal. And look, how long he will live for, who knows? But you wouldn't really know in the breeding shed that he was any different from 10 years ago. He's just a perfect gentleman, and just does the job, no trouble at all, and out again. And it's just hard to fathom he's 27, to be honest with you.
We don't have to sell these horses, but people need to remember, Marketplace champion 2-year-old last year, 3-year-old this year, but then Leap to Fame champion old horse. He's over here in New Zealand. There's a lot of horses in the middle. Lady Rider, if you're on for an omen bet in the New Zealand Cup this year, I saw it was 10 years ago that Michelle Payne won the first Melbourne Cup, which means it was 10 years ago that Karen Manning won with Arden Rooney to become the first Australian lady. So if there's an Australian lady driving in the New Zealand Cup next week, maybe get on that. That might be the omen bet, or Bettor's Delight, which is Leap to Fame, so you never know.
Yeah, look, when you look at the market, Merlin's obviously in the mix, but pretty well all of the other 5 top contenders are
BDs.
Bettor's Delights. Not to say that that's how it's going to happen, because look at the Melbourne Cup.
Exactly. and that does happen with any horses that you have. Sweet Lou, we will touch on him. He was here playing with his cone. He's over the back of the shed. No, he's over the back of the shed now. I did have some footage. I'll get some footage of it when we were setting up. But fully booked in Australia. The Kiwis need to be aware the Aussies can't get any more. You got people like Mick Boots that just love them, can't get enough of them in Australia, and the job they're doing. He's doing the job in America, Canada, everywhere. He's just a phenomenal horse.
Yeah.
And because of limited books in Australia, he's full, he's shut.
Yeah.
And so the Kiwis need to be aware of that. Selling through the NZB sales, the Aussies come over. We can't breed them. There's only 150 of them. A lot of people want to keep them, so they need to be aware of that when they're looking at a stallion to send their mare to.
Look, Diamond Creek announced his service fee this week in America, $30,000 US.
Wow.
He's exactly the same as Captain Treacherous.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you talk about his service fee in Australia and New Zealand to Captain Treacherous's service fee in Australia and New Zealand, he's an absolute steal at that price, and he's doing such a good job. He's now leading sire in Australia on all age, and in America he's just pipped the old boy for the first time. Looks like he'll go to the end. That'll end a dynasty of about 9 years on end in America. So he is a real deal, and he leaves colts and fillies, as you know.
Lou Deeper and Lou Print, we'll just talk about him. He's just been retired. We can't forget Cannibal Confederate. Those horses, like they're here. There's the other horse whose name just was. There's lots, but he's here, and the Kiwis get the opportunity to actually go to the real deal.
Yeah, there was Dancing Lou, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the other horse as well.
Yeah, and he's doing a fair job in America as well.
Yeah.
So it's a great family dam line, and everyone was sort of knocking the sire line a little bit, but it's interesting when you talk about Artscape and then his best son, and best son again. So something was coming down on that Y chromosome that made him a success. Far more than the sire line would say.
But I do think the most important part for the Kiwis, he's here. Go to him. You can go to the sons of his, that's fine, and I'm not knocking any of those, but this guy's here in the flesh, and you have that opportunity, and there's still plenty of his fertility's fine. So
look, we served I think between Australia and New Zealand, mostly in New Zealand, we served 18 mares today with him.
Wow.
And he gave well in excess of 20 billion. So you like to see $1 billion per serve. He doesn't on his ear. He's a pleasure to have around. And when you're in the lab, it's a lot easier than
when you look at it. And he throws that bling too, which people like. Rocky, down by the seaside, the runs are starting to come. People forget, like he got terrible bout of colic there one year. He had a small book the first year, terrible bout of colic the next year, sitting back. Now they're just continually coming through. They're exciting machines. We highlighted a couple of horses. His name just left me, but Darren Keast had a first start at Winton that a lot of people won't even look at. It had no right to win. It was last at the top of the straight.
Yes.
And just flew home. The winners are coming everywhere, Australia, New Zealand, North America. I know, you talk about Diamond Creek, they love him. They have a bloody seaside beach party. So
yeah. Look, Mark Hughes always tells me, you realise it's a hard sell over here because we've got 21 of Mach 3 Sun Beach and sons of as well, and obviously Pebble Beach is in Australia as well, and it's really hard. It's a hard sell, but I think he just broke the Australian record for number of 2-year-old winners in a season, 50. Get on them.
And they just get better and better, and I'm rapt to say we've got a beautiful filly at home. So and the other great thing about him, he was noted early as being a filly sire, which is I don't think a bad thing anyway, but now the boys are coming through and they're getting bigger and stronger, and I must say well done to the Kennys too. All of me won at Kaikoura on Monday, just gone, so they had that winner as well. So leaving plenty of them beside me, another mare they've got. So he does an awesome job. Great little mate of mine, Lather Up. He's an awesome stallion, and I keep saying little mate of mine. He's actually not little. He's quite a brute of a horse, but great to see the winners really starting to come to the fold. He had 2 winners in Tasmania last weekend. He's getting winners everywhere, and nice horses that are progressing through. They're winning 4 and 5 on the bounce, and that's exciting too for his progeny. Yeah,
look, and I think he suffered for numbers at the start, so he's got to dig himself out of that hole. And he is. He's improving mares, which sires do if they're good. And he's another very cost effective sire.
Awesomely priced,
he's under the $5,000 for New Zealand, for the promotions that goes there.
Yeah.
And we expect him to be commercial totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really is doing a job.
You don't have to get onto the Australian website and Google it, because I'm gonna get some of these names wrong. But a horse like Calexico, like he's an MO horse already. Damien Wilson, I don't think he'll mind me saying, he took on, very powerful Emery Clayton team a couple of times with him, and he was worried he might have destroyed him. No. He just came back, give him a spell, brings him back, and he just gets better and better. They're fast, they're strong, but the one thing I love is they seem to get on a roll and they just go bang, bang, bang. They win 3 and 4 in a row, and it's so good for the people, for their return on their dollar. Yeah,
look, and that's you're dead right. He's got a lot of, cricket pitch legs. Like it's just amazing what he's done there with some of those horses, because no disrespect for the people who bred to him, but he doesn't have the damn power that Sweet Lou and Betters and Seaside have.
And he another horse in America doing the job, Odds On Hallelujah, and there's another Odds On horse as well, high class fillies. I think one of them's gone about 49.3, 49.4, so they're setting serious times. Yeah.
Look, we think he's got a real good chance down here, and we're going to get a reasonable book, both sides of the Tasman, with him, and that'll really spring him into light. So those people who want to breed to him, you'll see that he'll be a commercial horse that when they go and take yearlings to the sale, they'll respect it and say that this is something I wouldn't mind having a go at.
Another one for the Kiwis with American Ideal. Still got the opportunity to go to him. Unfortunately, the Australians haven't. And another, it's sad that he has passed and left, because he continues just leaving good horses, 2-year-olds, fillies, colts, doesn't matter what it is, old horses. He's got 4 stallions standing at stud. Like, it's ridiculous what he's able to do.
Yeah, no, he's still on the leaderboard, obviously, because he's still got the offspring around, but he'll slowly just fade out because he won't have runners. But we've got a certain amount of semen here in New Zealand, and left, and some people have taken that opportunity, and but when that runs out, it runs out. I
haven't forgotten anyone, have I? That's them all.
That's it.
Yeah, we did okay there. We'll say well done to the farm. What the Hill unfortunately didn't come back. But Group 1 winner on Sunday, one of the time-honoured races, the Redwood Classic, with not another naughty for Huey Cathles, another vet. I'm sure yourself and Huey would have had plenty of conversations. But it's probably a pity he's not back here, but just the numbers. Bet and win. I think he had the first 3 winners on the Friday afternoon of the Redwood Carnival as well. So just continues to do a great job. And another horse that was selected by you guys to do a job over here, and he's doing it. Yeah,
look, and it's unfortunate. We just couldn't make it pay. And that was the problem. The cost of transport for shuttling really means that you've got to work out which horse you want, and to make it work, because it is expensive.
And I think people need to be aware of that. It's not you guys didn't want the horse, but there are a lot of factors in why a horse doesn't come back. It's not just because you say, we don't think he's going to make it. That's not the case at all. There is a lot of other factors involved. And, it's an emotional game. This game, it does get very emotional.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you. Anyone wants to find out any more about the stud, get the stud call. Give yourself a call and get involved that way. Come and see. But if you are in the North Island, the World Drivers' Championships on at the minute, come out and have a look at these horses. They're champion stands. Make the point of coming out and having a look at them and inspecting them, and then you'll know why you want to go to them.
Because we're in quarantine. I mean, this where we are with the fence now is about as close as you can get. So,
but that's close enough to him. Here
he comes.
He wants to come and say hello. But he has an aura about him, doesn't he?
Oh, he's a funny horse. He is just such a huge personality. He's just crazy. I tell a few people he was most of the horses when they're in Phantom, they slide off when they've done the job. For a little while, he was hopping off like side saddle, and he'd lift his other leg over and hop and land on the side. I've never seen that. We've had 30-odd stallions in the country, at the stud. I've never seen that ever in my life. And I talked to a few people and never seen it. And he did it for about every collect for about a month. Then he stopped. And he hasn't done it since.
Some of the great,
he's just such a character.
The great footies at Diamond Creek did, I think it was his second season, where they did it live, and they would have 30 to 40 people in his collection. They actually collected in front of these people. They were just around the walls, and that's the sort of horse that he is. He was just, I spoke to the guy that was actually handling him, and he was shitting himself. He said, No, not Lou. He just walked in, didn't care less. So yeah.
Yeah, he's got a great temperament, and that's one of the things that trainers like about them as well. They've got a really good temperament about them, and obviously beautifully gaited. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Andrew, thank you. Appreciate you giving me a bit of time. I always say 5 minutes and it takes a little bit longer, but thank you, and thank you very much, the entire team, Paul and Mary, yourself, Anne-Marie. I don't think we rattled her name off. The place doesn't run without Anne-Marie in the office, so thank you very much to everyone that looks after me at Campbell's Comments, and well done for what you guys are doing for the industry, and keep up the great work. Good luck next week.